Today we're going to talk about how to sew on a button. It's really pretty easy, but it can make a big difference in whether you can wear a garment or not. So what you need to sew on a button is a replacement button. Here we have a 4-hole button, and this is a button with a shank, and the shank is this little piece of metal on the back of a button. It can also be made of plastic. You're also going to need a needle, a pair of scissors, and some thread. First thing we're going to do is thread the needle. A needle has two ends, the sharp end and an end with an eye. So what we need to do is get some thread. And you want to thread it through the eye of the needle. This is the hardest part of the whole thing. Once you do this, putting the button on the garment is a breeze. Sometimes you need to moisten the edge of the thread a little bit to help it slide through more easily. There we go. So you just grab the thread and pull it through. Now you're only going to want between 12 and 18 inches of thread. If you make it too long, it'll just tangle. So we're going to cut off the end of the thread. There are two ways you can start sewing. You can either leave the ends free like this and do a couple of stitches to keep it from coming out, or, and this is easier for beginners I think, you can make a knot in the end of the thread. So I'm going to make a knot. Here, just pull it tight. And the first thing you need to do once you have the knot in the end of your thread is to go to the back of the garment. That's the side the needle will not, the side the button will not be on. To thread the needle through, pull it until the knot catches. You want to slide the button onto your needle. You want to put the thread back through, right beside the first stitch. Pull it tight. You can kind of turn the button to the side so you can see what you're doing here. You want to put it through again. And you can see my needle's coming up pretty close to the last stitch, but it isn't right in the same place. You want to loop it back through again. You're going to do this at least 4 or 5 times. You see each time it's getting more secure. And once you've got your button sewn on, you go to the back, run the needle through the fabric, just a little stitch here. And then you want to take your thread and loop it around the needle. I loop it around about twice. And then you want to pull it you pull it tight, and that makes another knot to secure your button to the fabric. And you want to cut the thread. That's all there is to it. You have a button on your garment again.